Welcome to Work the Left Side. I'm hyper hyped to announce tonight's guest. I am joined by the awesomeness that is Maverick from Bolton Town Wrestling. Sir, are you good?
I am good, you?
Oh, buddy, on 5x5. Too blessed to be stressed. Obviously, mate, I kind of wanted to get you on ever since the end of year sort of awards. Also, I've been kind of keeping an eye on, what BTW have been doing, but it really kind of blew up, kind of like, leveled up in my eyes over the end of year awards, as we was discussing. I mean, your fan base, dude. I mean, I said it to you before, like, whatever you're doing, you're obviously doing it right, because your fan base came out in droves. I think you had like 300-400 votes or something like that for the for the promotion of the year. And as I sort of said, man, if it had been a Facebook only, probably not wrong to say you probably would have run like the whole competition kind of thing. So, mate, big up to BTW. Whatever you're doing there, mate, is obviously making a lot of people happy.
Yeah, I think it's just the fans we've got. They're fantastic. They get on board with things. I think a part of our appeal is we're not traditionally like a wrestling town. It's not like one of these places where there's several different promotions.
Yeah.
It's how the reason I set it up is because it is just us. So I think the people that do come aren't necessarily wrestling fans, so they probably wouldn't go out of the way and watch other promotions. We are to them wrestling.
That makes sense. That's not a bad thing though. Like so I said, it's your fan base. But yeah, that's a great thing because again, obviously I know you're really sort of dapper on the Facebook, you promote your shows, you announce the matches, you do the graphics and everything. But I kind of think, based on that sort of the fan base, you could probably not announce a match and still sell a shitload of tickets because people would just be like, it's part of what they do now. They go to BTW on a regular basis. As soon as they know you've got a show, they're like, right, we'll buy a ticket. What are the matches? Who cares?
Yeah, we actually did that we did a couple of shows like that actually, where we kind of like announced who was on the show, but then didn't tell anyone what the matchups were. It was like you just had to turn up on the day and then find out. Like you kind of take an educated guess. You knew who was good and who were bad, kind of thing. Yeah. But like normally at that time, I was in a tag team. But for this one particular show, I just teamed with someone completely different. So like just to kind of throw everybody off a bit and just be like, oh, holy crap! Like anything could actually happen to you. So it was quite good fun. I might bring that back at some point because it was quite a fun little concept. Because traditionally we're quite storyline based, so you kind of almost linear. You're quite linear in like where you have to go, and so it's kind of like a bit of a multiverse moment where you're just like, yeah, let's just have this match because this would be fun.
You could just be like BTW Earth 686 or something. Yeah. It's like totally opposite. Like, yeah, there we go. But yeah, dude, like I say, if you can get away with it, obviously, not on a regular basis, but every now and again, it's kind of. It's novel. The fans would be like, okay. Like you say, they're not going to know what to expect. It's a little bit different. I think the British wrestling fans are pretty well trained. Even if you only go to like one promotion, you've kind of got that mindset of being like, we're open to having things be mixed up a little bit. If you did a random show, like, okay, for this one show, anything goes kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think even the casual fans kind of, they can see where it's going to go. If you come to enough of them, you can kind of see, oh, well, this guy's rising through the ranks, so at some point there's going to be a title shot. Or, this guy's losing a bit, so maybe they're doing something. You start cluing in after a few shows, don't you? So just to kind of like throw it out there and just like, we're going to just completely throw away the script and be like, yeah.
Just swerve off completely in the opposite direction. But obviously, like I was looking on Cage Match, trying to get, looking through like the previous shows, talent and stuff like that. And again, I always kind of take everything that I see on Cage Match with a pinch of salt. I know it's not 100%, but it's kind of like the quickest way of finding some stuff out. But it sort of said your first show was 2021. I'm going to presume that's around about right.
Yeah,
so this is your 5th year.
Yeah. So yeah, we started back in 2021. It was literally just kind of as like COVID. It was as soon as that was kind of lifting, we kind of just went, right, now's that time. Let's crack on. So it was August 21 was our first show. Our first year we only did 3 because we kind of started halfway through the year. And it's been pretty much as it's almost been full time since then. We've done a show on average between every 6 to 8 weeks since 2021. So I don't think they're all on Cage Match. I have checked it out myself at some point and been like, there's definitely there's a few missing. And I think some of the results are a bit skewed.
Yeah. I never know. Like I said, I never know how reliable Cage Match. I don't even know who runs. I don't know who's in charge of it.
I don't even know how they've got half of the results. To be fair, so
somebody's just texted. Somebody got drunk at a show. And was like, "Oh yeah, this guy won." Yeah. No, they didn't win. Oh, well, don't matter.
The only thing I can assume is it's somebody who just follows every promotion and kind of works out the winners from like the pictures or the results that are posted or what. Because I mean, credit to them, like it's a fairly thankless task, and they obviously enjoy doing it. And we're quite. I still think we're quite niche. We're not like you said. We're not your Future Shocks or your Titles or your big brands. So the fact that they've put the effort in to find our results out, appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I say again, whoever does want it, for the little flaws here and there, 87% of it is bob on, and all the respect in the world. Like I say, they've gone out of the way to do this. They've done this. I'm pretty certain, they don't get paid to do it. It's just there for the fans to look at to try and get some information. So yeah, kudos to Cage Match. But yeah, like I said, so you sort of said, Bolton's not a wrestling town. Did you just see that as a gap in the market? Was you kind of sat there, obviously, as a wrestling fan or as a wrestler, and just being like, hang on a minute, there's nothing on in this town?
It was kind of multiple reasons really that all kind of came together at the same time. So as I mentioned about the COVID thing, obviously that shut the entire scene down for about a year and a half. But that was about the point where I was kind of past the training level to the point where I could be on shows myself. So really, I'd lost the first year potentially of my career because there was no shows happening. So to kind of help give myself a way in, help give several people that I knew a way in, because like if you look at the first shows we did, a lot of talent on them weren't massively booked anywhere else. They had like their own home promotions. They had a couple of outside bookings, but they weren't on a countrywide scale.
Yeah.
So I kind of part of it was selfish. I'll hold my hand up to it. It was to get me on shows. Part of it was to help get other people on. But then also, I've lived in Bolton my entire life. So I was about 31 when I started BTW. So for 30 odd years, I've seen my town kind of decline in terms of there was nothing on. The only things that were on are like crappy karaoke nights everywhere, and we had a few fairly decent tribute bands, but even that was kind of a bit hit and miss. It was, it was falling. That whole industry was falling, and I was just like, I want something to do more than anything. And I'm like, well, if I had the choice, what would I want to do? And I'm like, I'd want to go to a wrestling show. All right, well, there isn't any. All right, well, I know enough people. I know a few guys that have got rings that hire them out, and yeah, it's not quite as straightforward as that, because obviously I had to look into insurance and all the back office, BS and all that. But I was like, there's nothing actually really stopping me other than I put on a show and no one turns up. And then I'm fucked. But
At least you tried.
luckily, as it was, I think the first show we did, we still got like 110 people.
Wow.
So I was like, actually, you know what? This is somewhat feasible. I'm not losing money. I mean, it's wrestling, you don't make it either. But I was like, hang on, we might as well carry on with this. Let's do another one. And that's literally how it started. It was literally just, we've never had any, there's never been any funding. There's never been any kind of like corporate input. There's no sponsorships or anything. It's always just been like my bank account and hope for the best. And you know what? I've never once not paid anybody. I've always been lucky enough to kind of survive. Some shows have made a loss. Nature of the business is live entertainment. There's no guarantee you're going to get the ticket sales. But overall, I'm no worse off for doing it. So I'm going to carry on doing it.
Dude, that's awesome. That's just kind of like, I think I'll be showing my age here, but I was going to sort of say, I think Bolton's been on the downslide since JJ Okocha left. And that's it. You know, I think that affects the whole town. Everyone's like, no, mate, JJ's gone. That's it. It's just a mass depression. So
I do believe moving the stadium out of the town centre did quite a lot of damage. Moving it from Burning Park to the Reebok was a bit of a definite tourist disaster, really.
There you go. See, so I know it comes down to football in some way, shape, or form. I just had to shout out JJ because Okocha was one of my favorite neutral players of all time, kind of thing. So any chance I get to shout out JJ Okocha, I'm like, yeah, JJ Okocha. Even had a Bolton shirt with his name on it. I was just kind of like, you know what, he deserves a shirt. But
go.
Yeah, I was just going to say, but yeah, you know, like I say, you've done the right thing. Like you saw there was a gap there. And like I said, you know, what would you want to do on a night out? There's nothing to do. What are we going to do? If it was up to me, I'd go wrestling. There's nowhere to go wrestling, right? I'll give people. It's almost like the Kevin Costner Field of Dreams thing. It's kind of like, if we build it, they will
build it and they will come. Yeah.
But you say you go, obviously, you know, talking about the people you had on the first few shows and everything like that. I mean, something that popped me on you've got a show coming up on the 8th of March, which we'll talk about. But, you know, seeing Joey Hayes on the poster.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, again, I'm old school. Joey he is that guy. He's just that damn good. You've got Joey on your show, mate. That's just instant credibility and just awesomeness.
But this is the weird thing. Like, it's really, really bizarre little throwback. So when I first started wrestling, I came in through PCW Preston, doing their white collar charity show. Yeah, so you learn how to wrestle for 10 weeks, and then they put on a big show. You invite all your friends and family along. And way back then, my first ever match was a tag match against Joey Hayes and Tyson T-Bone. So proper like,
wow,
baptism by fire. Survived it, obviously. Fantastic experience. But then since then, like me and Joey have always kind of, I'm not going to say we go out to the pub and we're like busy mates, but we've always had kind of like a good respect for each other. You know, we get on, we get on really well, we chat. And the thing is, he's actually only down the road from me. He literally, so where I am, he's literally maybe 10 miles or so, like down the corner. He only lives in Leigh. So it's really, as long as his schedule's free, he loves coming up to BTW because it's literally one of the nearest promotions to where he lives. And like I said, he loves the fan base. He loves what we do. So I can just ring you up and be like, "Hey Joey, are you free of this one? Yeah, cool, you're in."
Yes, that's amazing.
And like I said, it does add credibility because you ask 10 wrestlers who their favorite wrestler is, about 9 of them will probably say Joey.
Yeah, he's definitely in top 5s. He's in a 9 out of 10 top 5s. Joey Hayes will be in there, kind of thing. And that's not to besmirch anybody else on the roster. It's just he's been around a little bit longer, and he's built up that respect. He's built up that reputation, and it's just that guy. He's just.
This is it. It's more than a moniker. It's I know full well if I booked him, it don't matter what match I put him in, he'll make it work. I put him in all sorts, like singles, tags, whatever. Like, and I know full well that match is fine. I don't need to do anything else. He'll just go off and
forget about it. Yep, I say that's done. You know it's going to happen. You know it's going to deliver. It's one less stress for you. Crack on, kind of thing. You can go on to the other things. Obviously, another name that jumps off at me now is Mr. Steen. He's somebody that's come on leaps and bounds in the last few years, kind of thing. I've seen him a few times as part of Forbidden Planet. I haven't seen him in singles action in person, but I know a lot of people have, and they're raving about him. And it's just, again, it's a cool name to have, involved.
Yeah, he's got. I think he's got like a bit of a. His personal life has something to do with theatricals and something. You can see it come through with his work. Like a lot of what he does, you can almost see him like almost on a stage rather than a ring.
Yeah,
the way he carries himself, his presence. Again, it's a fantastic guy to work with. I love working with Aiton. He's another good lad who, again, you can just give him anything and be like, he'll take it, he'll make it his own, gets over. It's what you want. You get a roster full of people like that. It makes your life so much easier.
I was going to say, as a promoter, that must be like, just a dream. You've got like a handful, or a roster of people that you can just rely on. There's never going to be any headaches. I've spoken to various promotions, and the key thing always seems to be, you want to build up that kind of a steady roster. Obviously, you can bring people in as of when needed, but you want that steady roster of talent that you kind of class as yours. But you want it to be like a little, a dysfunctional family in the best possible way, kind of thing. Everybody appreciates everybody. Everybody's there to work together and to sort of elevate everyone.
I think, in a weird way, I'm kind of fortunate that I'm not tied to like a training school or anything like that. I can cherry pick the people that I want, and I think that works really well because I've got now to a point where there's no egos. Everyone just comes in, cracks on with it, has a great show, puts on the best performance, get paid, go home. No drama, no bitchiness, no nothing. It's brilliant. I mean, you're not going to be like best mates with every single person on the roster because that's not human nature. But in terms of professionalism, like I said, no matter where you are on the card, you're equal. And that also helps when I'm doing the cards because I can shift people around. There's never going to be like a particularly weak link. There's never someone who has to win because they're the megastar, So it does, it makes life so much easier.
That's awesome. Like I said, I can't even imagine the headache as a promoter trying to run shows. Like you sort of said, juggling this, juggling that. That's why you kind of want people around you, like I said, that don't have, the out of control egos. Everybody needs an ego because they've got to have it to do what they do, kind of thing. But you don't want it out of control. You don't want this like massive giant stomping around kind of thing. But to be able to do that, mate, that must just be, just make it a lot easier, make it fun, which obviously message should be. And that's what I get from BTW as well, from when the fans have been interacting, or, like I say, when I was doing those polls and people were voting, people were commenting, you could just tell, like I sort of said, the fans appreciated what you guys do. It was fun. They were loyal as fuck as well, though, mate. Like I sort of said, that's just what stood out to me is they came out and voted for you guys in droves compared to like some bigger promotions whose fans I know appreciate what they do, but probably remain a little bit quieter about it. Whereas you're just like, we're Bolton, we're proud. Yeah.
That's it. Whoa. I say it's just a weird mentality. It's like, it's not, I don't want to say cult like because it's not, but it is. It's like our fans do have a really strong connection with us, and I think it's as much them as it is us. To be fair, like it's got to a point now. I'm very hands on as promoter, probably more than I should be. But like, I'll even do the tickets at the start of the show. Like, I'll check everyone's tickets in, and like, it's got to a point. I know half of our fan base by face, some of them by name. I know your personal life story. Like with that, we are like literally an extension of you guys, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think it's great. It's like, I know it sounds massively cliched, especially from like a business and marketing ploy, but it is almost like a family. Like, you've obviously got the family. You've got the family of workers, the guys in the ring, the guys backstage, but then you've got the extended family. You've got the cousins, which are like, they're your fans. Like, I can. I did a show for another a show for American wrestling the other weekend, and it is what it is. But I came out completely different venue that we're not in. Not all the fans knew us, but the ones that did, straight away as soon as I came out, Maverick chanting. We actually got a BTW chant in the middle of another show. I was just like, oh shit, this is going to come out to bite me in the ass. But like, at the same time, I'm buzzing because that's what we mean to the fans. Like, they've seen me, and it was me and Jack Johnson.
Nice.
Two people who are literally day one BTW guys on this show. So as far as the fans are concerned, this is a BTW match.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love the fact that, you know, we're the personification of wrestling to them.
Yeah.
Like I said, not to disparage any other promotions. There are some great ones. Most of them that I watch myself. Like, but for our fans, we're wrestling.
That's it. I mean, no, it is no besmirchment. That's like,
No,
you've got to have that mentality sometimes. Like, you know, I was speaking to Johnny GPW probably a couple of years ago now. That's flown by, but he said something to me that's always kind of stuck, and I've kind of mentioned it to a few people. Like, especially when they've been booked on a GPW show, is he will generally, you know, for the most part, look at British wrestling like it's GPW. GPW is British wrestling. There's no other promotion. You know, he's got to focus on his promotion. Doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. He blocks out any other promotion, and it's just GPW. I can imagine you being the same. Like, obviously in Bolton, there's nobody else around. You know, as far as you're concerned, when you're in the zone, there are no other promotions. There's just Bolton Town Wrestling, and that's
it's ironic you said that actually, because while I'm in the zone, yeah, but I'm also a massive fan of GPW. I go to all the shows.
Oh, really?
I love what Johnny does. It's fantastic. It's it's actually one of the few promotions that I go to where I can't guess what they're going to do.
Yeah.
You know, saying earlier about like you kind of have a pattern and like your fans can see it. Every now and then, I still manage to get swerved. And it's always GPW that does it. So I'm like, you know what? Fair play, Johnny.
Yeah. Nice. That's he's master of his craft kind of thing. The whole thing with RPD, you know, turning the heel. If he was going to do it anywhere, it had to be GPW kind of thing. Yeah. Like, you know, and obviously your boy Jack Johnson involved in that as well with Franco Freight.
Yeah. Oh, no, I will honestly praise Jack every chance I get. He should be everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, he is literally, you know what I say about like, Joey being the generational talent? Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Jack's not the next one. Like, he is that good to work with. I've had probably half a dozen matches with him involving some capacity, either like tags or singles or whatever. And literally probably about 3 out of my top 5 favorite matches involved me facing Jack.
So he's your one fight forever kind of guy. Because I was kind of feeling like most wrestlers have that one person that they just kind of like say they click with.
I would happily leather the crap out of Jack.
Forever.
7 days a week, twice on Sundays.
Nice.
I hope he thinks the same too, because like we've always had great matches. Like, it's bonkers. And obviously, like 70-80% of it's all him. But I don't know. You have a certain guy you have a chemistry with. Yeah. And like I said, me and Jack love it.
Dude, that's amazing. Hopefully, I'll get him on. He was meant to be on sort of middle of last year, but I think things popped up and we had to kind of cancel the episode, and we just never got around to rescheduling it, kind of thing. But I've still got the episode graphic ready. You know, I've got the Jack Johnson episode graphic. I've got the highlight reel ready for the intro. So yeah, fingers crossed. You know, I'll get him on at some point.
Yeah, he is another guy that's got a fantastic insight. Like,
it's just working with you guys.
Backstage even like backstage in like locker rooms and stuff, just talking to him, and like you can kind of like shit, that's incredible. Like it takes your stuff and then makes it better. I'm just like,
sit down for a minute. I just want to talk to you about something, and then just slightly jot down the ideas.
Match past you, like,
right, so just don't let him know you're tapping him up, but just casually in conversation, like, oh yeah,
like, I'll pay you beer. Tell me what we're doing wrong.
Oh yeah, there you go. That works as well. But yeah, obviously, yeah, you know, Jack, the Salford stuff, obviously BTW, like I said, GPW, various places, you know, that I've sort of seen him is just next level kind of thing. Obviously, comes over this way sometimes with Kingdom. So yeah, put it out there just to manifest it into the universe. You know, hopefully. We'll be able to reschedule the episode and we'll get him on at some point. I might even just clip this, just try and bribe him. No peer pressure, but you know, Jack, come on, mate. We need
to do it. Hunt him down.
Yeah, just like there we go. But that's the thing, you know, like I say, so when you're doing that, you know, you've got that mindset, you've got those people. Let's say you've got those people around you as well that you kind of know what they're doing and make sure life easier. You obviously know what you're doing, but when you get like a collective of minds together, like you sort of said there, you kind of very open to being like, you've got your ideas, but if somebody can improve them, like you sort of said, you can be like, oh, okay, yeah, right, no, it's just leveled it up. You obviously, yeah, I would again presume as a promoter, that just makes it a hell of a lot easier for the talent to work with you and make BTW a fun place to work because you listen to them.
Yeah, I like to think so. Yeah. So I've always kind of had like an open office kind of policy. So like, no matter who you are on the card, wherever you are, pitch ideas. Always pitch ideas, because it might be something I've not thought of. It might be something that I didn't think you might be interested in. Like, I'll always say one of three things: yes, no, not yet.
You can't get much further than that. Like I sort of say, I can imagine, like I say, that being a much more fun environment, a much more welcoming. Because again, though, but I can imagine some promotions or some people just being dead set in, this is what we're doing, this is how I want to do it, this is how you will do it, and there not being any leeway, which is fine. If that's how they work, that's how they work. You know, some people prefer that. That's fine as well. But I'm just thinking, like, if it was me, if I was a wrestler, I'd want to be somewhere. And if I did think of something, I wouldn't be worried. I could just go up to the person and be like, mate, what do you think? They'd probably look at me like, mate, that's fucking mental. No. I'd be like, all right, fair enough. But, you know, at least I've said it.
That's it. I've said it. I've said no, but I've said no to some ideas. I've said, like, oh, it doesn't fit with the direction I want to go in, or it doesn't fit with the dynamic. But then at the same time, when I first started, I was always kind of told, when you're a wrestler, you've got to be yourself turned up to 11.
Yeah.
But so then I'm like, well, who knows you better than yourself? Like, if there's something in you that you think you are, that you want to portray, you're going to know it better than I'm going to know it. Yeah. So, like, as long as it kind of fits the wider narrative of what I'm trying to do, or where I'm trying to go with stories, why the hell not? Like, I said, another guy on our roster, Carl Stocks, he pitched an idea, like, I think probably a couple of years ago now, to do this. He wanted his own faction. So he came up to me, he's like, I want to do my own faction. Okay, cool. And that's how, like, the whole Black Sheep thing came about, and that's how we got into a partnership with Ginner, who now wrestles over in Canada, Aiton and Alfiee, and they all kind of came together through their kind of weirdness. but it works. But, like, as far as I'm concerned, that's 90% Carl's idea. I just let it happen. and putting a little nudge here and there to try and say, look, I need you to go to this, I need you to feud with these guys or whatever. And that ran for a year and a half, and there's still remnants of that story involved in feuds now. So yeah, wrestling is a creative art. So let people be creative.
Dude, that's amazing. Talking of creativity, another name that was going to get mentioned at some point, which you beat me to, which feeds me in perfectly, Alfiee. You know, just I think anytime, you know, Alfie's on a show or see Alfiee on a poster, again, that kind of gets my attention. But yeah, you're talking about the creativity, being part of a faction. It's just, you're never gonna have a bad match, or there's never gonna be a bad moment when Alfiee is involved, in my opinion.
No, I said we had her on for quite a fair few shows. Miss having her around, actually. She's like really hard to book because she's so busy. But yeah, we had some great stuff with her over the women's title. She stole it at one point, and then she legitimately won it. And yeah, fantastic female talent.
I was trying to think of people who might be watching this that haven't kind of caught on to BTW yet, or haven't kind of like caught up with the awesomeness. Just a few names I can throw out there that I know the majority of my fan base, not my fan base, so it makes me sound like majority of people who listen to Work the Left Side will know, they know Alfiee. Everybody appreciates Alfiee that I know. So as soon as I drop her name, they're going to be like, oh shit, all right, cool, yeah, we definitely need to go check out. As tempted as we were beforehand, let's check out BTW kind of thing, or see what they've been up to. Go watch it. And yeah, Alfiee is going to be one of those people that gets eyes from this neck of the woods on the product kind of thing.
I get the feeling you're predominantly like a Yorkshire.
Yeah. I'm in Leeds personally. Again, this is a tricky subject for me. I'd kind of like denounce Yorkshire, but I'm a Nottingham boy living in Yorkshire. So yeah, my local wrestling scene is kind of West Yorkshire. It's Leeds based kind of thing. So, but yeah, so a lot of people over here, because of Tidal, because of True Grit, because of Planet Wrestling and stuff like that, all know and love Alfiee. So if I sort of say to anyone, oh, she was on this show, they're automatically going to be like, right, let's go check it out.
I mean, we've had we have had quite a huge group of people, to be fair, like all over the North England. I think I worked it out a good few shows ago, and we'd had something like 100 different workers. So I dread to think what that number's up to now. It's going to be about 130, 150, something like that.
Dude.
But like I said, it's a variety of, like, I mean, you touched on it earlier. I've got a core of guys that are generally on every show, or every 2 out of 3 shows. But like I said, I'm not against bringing new people in. I just don't want to do it if it's for the sake of it. Yeah, I like to bring people in with an actual story in place, or something where that could lead to something.
Yeah, it's got to make sense.
Yeah, there's a couple of motions that kind of, I don't want to say, I'm going to sound really harsh. I'm going to come across an arsehole here. I don't mean it, but I don't want to just book like flavor of the month. You know, I want them to go with some substance. I want them to be like, mate, this guy's earned to come in, but this is why, and this is what we're going to do with them, rather than, you know, here's Spot Fest, and then you never go see that person again.
Mate, you're not being an arsehole at all. You're just ticking all my boxes, because that is one of my biggest beefs with what I would class as a local promotion. That, you know, every show is full of exhibition matches, you know, or, you know, I've seen like talent on shows and been like, that person's awesome, and I've never seen them again. I'm like, for fuck's sake, well, you know, bring them back. You know, I want to see that person. They had an amazing debut, and they have never been seen again. And then, but yeah, you know, there's maybe one storyline running or something like that, and you're just like, seriously. As much as I love exhibition matches here and there, I'm not going to go to every show just to see exhibition matches. It doesn't pull me in. I need that emotional investment. I need to care. You know what I mean? I want to feel like I've overpaid because I've only used half my chair because I've been on the edge of it all show. Yeah. It's just, yeah. But yeah, I know exactly what you said. It's not an arsehole comment. It's just, it's legit. You know, as a fan, yeah, I totally agree with that, and I second it.
But again, I think this is why we have such a good fan base, because we are generally, like I said, storyline driven, but we could have maybe 2 or 3 different stories going on at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think it's that kind of emotional investment from the fans. That's what makes them come back anyway, but also what makes them kind of really care about who we are.
Yeah.
Like I'll be first to admit it. I'm fairly average on a good day at wrestling, but the fans, they don't care. They love me. I can come out and be an idiot. Can be somewhat serious sometimes. I can do a wide variety of things, but they're always invested in me. And to be honest, I'm probably one of the crappier ones on the show.
Well, you've done the hard work of making them care, like via stories. That's why I always sort of say stories are important. You know what I mean? You can just have the most basic of matches. If you're telling a story, they're gonna pop more for just little bits here and there because you've got them where you want to do it. A body slam can get a bigger reaction than the bestest move in the world kind of thing. If that body slam means something. If it's at the end of a story, if it's at the climax of, like this really engaging, thrilling story arc, if it ends in a body slam, but that's what was needed, it's going to get a reaction.
And it's a damn sight easy to wake up the next morning.
There you go, you see. Working smart, not working hard. But yeah, no, I totally get that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mentioned like being based where I am. Hopefully this is not a besmirchment on them, but one of my favorite promotions currently is Blackheart, and they are again very story based. Got a lot of amazing talent, but there's probably a few guys there that would say the same as you. They're solid workers. They're never going to win best wrestler of the year, but they can go out, they can tell a story, they can have a match, and the fans care about them, and that's all you need.
It is all you need. End of the day, the basic business boils down to, can you get people to part with the money, whether it's £5, 10 quid, 20 quid, whatever. And the only way they're going to do that is if they care about what they're watching. It's exactly the same as if you went to watch a play, any kind of production, went to the cinema, watch a film. You are parting people from their money for their entertainment, so they need to care.
Talking of parting people from their money, 8th of March, we kind of mentioned it earlier, the next show. If there's any tickets available, go buy tickets now, go to see the show. I was looking at the card earlier, looks awesome. But yeah, 8th of March, man, let's kind of hype it up. If there are any tickets left to be sold, let's get them shifted.
There will always be tickets to be sold. I refuse to sell out. If I can fit people in, I will do. As long as it's legally compliant, they will get in.
There you go. You've got to sit on somebody's shoulders.
It is. It's just, I don't even feel like I need to hype it as much because, like I said, I trust the guys so completely that I know full well the show will be awesome. Like, again, we got matches like Joey Hayes.
Take us through the matches, man.
Joey Hayes and Troy Ryan. 2 guys that are literally all over the north, south, everywhere. Like, Troy now going on this massive singles run and just faced Billy Gunn this weekend, and he's probably on the best high of his life. But Joey's like the industry veteran, 20-year vet who's just that damn good. That one match alone could steal the show. That's worth a tenner.
Dude, I mean, yeah, that is one of those matches. There's a few matches on the card like it, but I always kind of look at shows and look at matches and be like, would that make me buy a ticket? Just on that one match, and that match would make me buy a ticket. I would be like, yes, I need to see this match. Purely like you just summed it up perfectly. Now Troy's doing the singles thing. He's just become a force. He's just like a human wrecking ball kind of thing. Everywhere I've seen him is just like black trunks, black boots, just full on crazy eyes. And then who better to try and stop him than the wily veteran that is Joey Hayes? It's just like it's mouthwatering.
It's like I said, it's the easiest story to build up. The what is it? The unstoppable force of the immovable object.
Yeah.
It's been done time and time again, but this is us doing it, and it's going to be awesome. Like we've got matches like so. The little thing about BTW, we're very creative when it comes to matches, due to usually some kind of limitation. So usually either the venue's not big enough or we can't do whatever we want to do. So we've invented a new one. That's the lockbox ladder match. So rather than your traditional titles hanging from the rafters kind of thing, we're going to have one where we've got our own, like, basically little mini shark cage for the title. There's going to be a key hanging. You still got to climb the ladder. You got to get the key, but that's not the end of the match. You then have to get the key and you have to put it in the lock and you have to get the title out. And that's what Stocks and Jack Johnson are doing over the Chaos title. The Chaos title is, although it kind of gets called the hardcore title, it's not. Basically, it's my little brainchild of it can't be defended in a singles match. It has to have some kind of stipulation. But that can be anything. It could be, like a ladder match. It could be submission only. It could be last man standing, whatever. It just can't be singles. So yeah, they've got a lockbox ladder match. So it's basically my way of making sure they don't rip a chandelier off the ceiling or something.
Man, it works though. That's good.
Again, as I've already said, two of the most creative minds that I've got. I couldn't even fathom what they're going to come up with in that context. I just hope I don't like save the front row from flying ladders or anything. But there's no guarantee. So that's probably actually one of the matches I'm most looking forward to. Actually, is that one, just because I can't wait to see what crazy, stupid shit they're going to come up with, and pray that I don't have to use my first aid.
It's covered, yeah. Hopefully the insurance covers it. But even like sort of saying, the fans, I'm pretty certain the fans will just soak it up. If they kind of did just get a little bit of a bump, they're just be like, Jack, sign it, Jack, sign it.
Yeah. Oh, what else? So yeah, we've actually got two ladies from your end of the woods, Summer Rain and Scarlet.
Yeah.
Both debuting. So that's exciting. It's always good to see like new people come in. And look forward to see what they can do. We've got the Uprising as well. We're another Yorkshire-based team that seems to be all over the place. They're coming in, challenging for our tag titles off Team Negativity, who are a great pair of lads, even though they did take the belts off me.
Yeah. Ooh.
I know. But again, it's a good cultural thing as well. We've got Yorkshire versus Wales, so it's like neither one of you had the home team advantage. So let's see how this goes.
Just got to meet in the middle.
Yeah, like I said, I just come up with random things and then try and make it work afterwards. Give you a reason after I've booked the match. Aiton's defending the title. I think there's somebody else I've forgotten, and I'm really sorry if it's your match because I can't remember it.
I'll put up all the matches on the screen anyway as well, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But,
someone's going to hate me now because I know I've forgotten a match. I can't remember it for the life of me. Sorry, I'm tired.
That's it. I'll put you on the spot, dude. If anybody who says they can remember everything when they've been put on the spot is a blatant liar, because nobody can. I'm bad for it. If somebody says name your favourite song, I'm like, my mind just goes blank. I turn like goldfish.
It's all music.
I can't even think what music is. What is music? Yeah, I don't know what my favourite song is. But yeah, so yeah, fully understandable, dude. Fully defensible. It's just I'm the try to put you on the spot and try to make you name all the matches. So, but yeah, it's just like I said, those matches just are jumping out. It's going to be. Again, I use the word hype. I hate using that word because it doesn't need to be hyped. I'm more getting myself hyped for it kind of thing. But like I said, I like the ladder match stipulation. I like the key thing. It just kind of not 100%, but it kind of reminds me of the it's different.
It's a different take on something that everyone's seen probably 100 times before.
Yeah.
And I think, especially with things like wrestling, everything's been done before. There's very few things out there now that you kind of like, oh, I've never heard of that before. Like, I've never seen that before. Like, there'll always be something, and I think if you can even slightly think outside the box, it shows.
It's not just over, because obviously you've got the ladder match, you've got the elements of a ladder match, which the fans kind of become accustomed to. We kind of not know what to expect, but we kind of know what we want to see. But then you have that element of just pulling the key down. That's not the end of it. Stuff can happen between that key being taken down and being put into the lockbox. There's a whole nother avenue now. Where as a fan, I'm like, I don't know what to expect. This is totally alien to me now. I'm used to the match stopping here, but now it's going over here.
And I said that could be the finish. That could be like 10 minutes of the finish. Who knows?
Yeah, just because you got the key, you haven't won the match. I mean, shit can happen between the match and the unlocking the thing. There could be all sorts going on. Which, as a fan, I would not know what to expect. Which then gets me excited. Which then makes me think, oh shit, I definitely want to watch this match.
Yeah, and that's literally all we can hope for, really.
Dude, no man, again, like I said, but I like the way that you kind of said it kind of put me in the mindset of old school ECW. It's like a Paul Heyman thing of why ECW was so successful, so loved, so popular, is they were so good at kind of hiding not the weaknesses but hiding the flaws and emphasizing the strengths. So like you sort of said, if a venue's not quite big enough to do what you want to do, then you hide that and you do something else. You put that creativity into it, and that just hides one of your strengths and hides one of the flaws. It's that kind of mindset.
It is. It's funny you mentioned, because actually another big influence was the classic ECW. Like not so much the hardcore extreme side of things, but like Paul Heyman and his mind, his genius, because he is. That whole, like I said, hiding weaknesses and accentuating like the strengths and
accentuating. That's it. That's the word I was looking for. Accentuating
and making things work with what he had. That's exactly kind of the same mindset I've kind of put into BTW as well. But I will give props to its due. If you get a hold of it, I highly recommend his autobiography. Paul Heyman did an autobiography, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Okay, that's kind of slipped by me because I'm a massive fan of autobiographies, wrestling books, historians kind of thing. I love reading back on stuff. I did not know he had one. That's totally slipped me by. I've read JR's, Dusty Rhodes, various others, John Moxley's, Young Bucks, Austin's, Rocks, Mankind's, So I'm a massive fan of reading about wrestling as well. So, right, okay. I will try and find that.
If you can find it, I highly recommend that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, he goes into all like he kind of touched on the things like the licensing, how they got away with having like Metallica and stuff as entrance music, and like basically just didn't care because it wasn't worth suing. But it was a fantastic read. But like I said, it kind of helped me also get in the mindset of, like I said again, showing the positives, hiding the weaknesses, and a lot of it kind of hits home, and you're like, oh, actually, that makes a hell of a lot of sense.
Yeah, why would you, like so say, everybody to not accept that something is flawed, or that to be that much in denial that you can't see that you've got a flaw, then there's something amiss, kind of thing. But if you know you have, then you can kind of work around it. You can kind of find the best way to kind of cover it up, or you just make something else so much better that doesn't matter. Like you said, you emphasize the strengths, and they will cover the flaws. People aren't going to care about the flaws because the strengths are so good.
Exactly.
Oh, dude. Sorry, I've just got me thinking about old school ECW and stuff now as well. I'm legitimately pissed at myself that I did not know that book existed, though. You've just planted the seed now. I'm like,
I can't remember what it's called. Honestly, I think it's on Amazon somewhere. Oh yeah.
Right. Okay.
I recommend that one.
I'll get on Audible after this and see if I can find it. Because that's another thing as well. Just like, because I work from home, I'm a fucker for like listening to autobiographies through. I'm lazy. I don't read. I listen to them on Audible. So as long as they're on Audible, we're good. I can find them. I can listen to them, and it keeps me entertained for about 2 days straight. Dude, I'm just really excited now for that as well. So, but yeah, obviously we're talking about fans, getting to the show, watching the show. I would be amiss is I love YouTube. I will watch as many promotions as I can on YouTube. I haven't watched anywhere near as many as I should because I keep forgetting to look for them, or I'll go look for them and something else will pop up and I'll go down that rabbit hole. Are you guys on YouTube? Because I keep in search for it and I never get around to it. Do you record the show?
I need to speak to our tech guy about it because it's not the easiest to find. So I've got basically is a connection I've made early on in my career, but I have a guy who does all our entrance videos, all our promo stuff, and he does put some stuff on YouTube, but it's for his company one, so it's on Apple facilities. You can find a few of our other guys have put match on. Bentley's put a lot of his stuff up on his personal YouTube. But yeah, I think the next thing we look at is trying to make it a bit more accessible. Because when we first started, we were basically filming and doing them all properly, putting them out on DVDs. But then not many people bother with DVDs anymore, so it kind of became more hassle than it was worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely do need to try and put out some more video footage, I think. Because I said it in interview the other week, I'm kind of a little bit sick of being like wrestling's best kept secret. Like, like I said, everyone who comes loves us, but then doesn't seem to want to bring a friend. I'm like, if you bring a friend, that makes it a whole lot easier for me because then we sell out quicker, and then I can stop panicking. I can stop going grey. That's the goal. Hold on to a bit of colour a bit longer.
Bring a friend. Yeah, bring two friends.
Bring a friend. Bring your nan. I don't care. Bring your nan who only remembers Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks. I don't care. She'll love it.
Exactly. She can shake a handbag at Joey Hayes or anybody else. Mr. Steen. Just give him a good old handbag.
Start swinging your handbag around. You'll be right back in the 60s. But love it.
But yeah, obviously I mentioned about YouTube because again, anybody who knows me knows I'm a massive sort of advocate for that kind of. I'm so reliant on it, to watch a lot of what I get to watch kind of thing. I'll get to the shows that I can near me, but because I don't drive, I can't venture out too far. So yeah, like YouTube is my saving grace to get to watch stuff that I hear about, or I'll get people talking to me about. Oh, have you seen this? No. YouTube, bosh, there we go, sword. I'm on it. So yeah, Bolton's like. You say because you've got a fan base from people who go there. I always kind of think that would translate, to the shows. If people got to watch the shows, it wouldn't be the same, but they would be able to kind of see the fans' reactions, the action in the ring, and just get a lot more eyes on you guys as well.
Quite possibly. Yeah, it's just I don't know. You can't beat live. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I
know that. Yeah.
I don't want to put something out and then be like, oh, it doesn't quite have the same energy. It doesn't quite feel right.
Don't capture it. Yeah, that's it's a double-edged sword, really. I'm kind of sat here saying like, yeah, do this, do that. But yeah, now you've kind of said that, it's like, could it alienate people if it didn't come across well on screen?
Even the big boys at WWE, they'll pipe crowd sounds in. So how good's mine going to look if you can only hear 10 people, but really there's 100 people screaming? And I said I will look into putting some more stuff out there and trying to make it a bit more accessible and basically hopefully make a few more fans out of it.
That's it. I mean, like I sort of say, it's the ball ache of doing it, but obviously the platform itself is free kind of thing. So yeah, it's just having that time to do it, to having the person to kind of do it for you kind of thing. So, but yeah, it's just, me spitballing ideas and be like, but again, I am wrong sometimes. So, and there's always two ways to look at it. Like you sort of said, I'm looking at it in like, yeah, it'd be amazing. But like you sort of said, if it doesn't come across well on the screen, it ain't going to look that good. And then people are going to be like, I was thinking about going to Bolton. I ain't going to go now. You're like, fuck, I've actually just lost a customer.
My worst fear is all my Bolton fans suddenly realise they can watch it for free on YouTube. Where is everyone?
That is true as well. Yeah, again, double-edged sword. Yeah, that's the thing. You've kind of really got to emphasise the fact of it's only 20% as good as if he was there in real person. You know, yeah. Like I say, you can't beat live. You know, that energy, the excitement, the noise. It's just.
Like I say, it's got to a point now where I mean, I'm 36, so I've been a wrestling fan now for probably 25 years, and I've done the WWE stuff. I went to AEW the first time they were over in Wembley, and I still prefer indie. I actually prefer indie wrestling over everything because I think that crowd interaction, the the meeting the people afterwards, even if I wasn't doing it myself, just like being able to meet like the stars after the show, that's what does it for me. So it's definitely not good on YouTube.
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, but yeah, it's the connection like you kind of make. So you sort of said there, you know, obviously we talked about earlier getting over to like GPW and stuff. You sort of said that's besides BTW, you know, we mentioned Preston as in like your training kind of thing. Before you started the training, there were you a fan? Were you going to shows as a fan before you got into it? I used to travel to Preston. I used to get a train to Preston every couple of months and do that the big weekend shows kind of thing back in the day. PCW for me was like the promotion of the country.
I was probably not for as long as you'd think. As in my actual real life, I'm a chef, so I kind of met a guy who was like an indie wrestling fan in one of the places I was working back when I was like probably about mid-20s.
Okay.
And I don't know how we got onto it. We started to talk about wrestling. He mentioned about indie wrestling. At this point, I'm like, what's that? Like, is that like Mega Slam kind of thing? Like, that was what I heard of because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, he started bringing in some like DVDs, watched them. I was hooked on there. So I'm probably only really an indie wrestling fan for maybe 3-4 years before I tried to like pursue it. It was all pretty quickly rapid fire progression, to be honest.
Well, at least you knew about it before you started, because I've spoken to numerous people who, you know, they kind of got into wrestling because obviously, you know, they watched it on TV with the, you know, as kids and everything like that. And until they actually started training, they didn't. Some people weren't even aware of that there was a British wrestling scene kind of thing. They just thought there were schools or in-house shows kind of thing. So at least you was aware. You know, at least you'd been a fan for a few years before stepping through the doors yourself.
Yeah, like I said, if it still didn't prepare you for anything like oh shit, this is different.
Other side of the curve, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but there's nothing else like it in the world, so
Dude,
nothing's going to prepare you, is it? So
that's again, you know, it's just I hear that so often, but in the best possible way, you know, like sort of said, it's just, you know, I've spoken to various people who've been in bands or been in theatre and stuff like that, and as much as they kind of sort of say it helps a little bit with the confidence or being in front of people, mate, it's nothing like it. There's nothing can prepare you for stepping through that curtain, walking down the aisle, getting in the ring, you know, the fans being just looking at you, or, you know, getting that reaction, you know, trying to get a reaction out of the fans and then getting that reaction is just the satisfaction.
yeah, I think especially as like from the newer side of things, like your first couple of shows are so terrifying because like these people don't know who you are. They don't give a crap about you at this point. Like you might have like a bit of family and friends in the audience, but that's not going to carry the majority. And you, let's be honest, let's call wrestling what it is. You literally stood out there, half naked, in a pair of tight little shorts, hoping that they're not judging you too harshly. That is the first couple of matches. That is exactly the thought in your head, and you're like, "What the fuck am I doing?"
It's cold, man. It's cold.
That's put the heating on, get me some extra socks.
David Bowie's that shit, man.
That's it.
But dude, that's it. Just I've just clocked the time as well, but I'll keep you for about sort of an hour. But mate, it's just been like I said, this all came about just on the result of obviously me kind of keeping an eye on what you were doing on Facebook, but just your fans, just the shows that you're doing. But again, you know, you wouldn't have those fans if you weren't doing what you were doing so well. Mate, I'm hyped to. Also, I won't get to see it, but I will try and get as much. If I know anybody that's going to the show on the 8th of March, I'm going to live vicariously through them. I'll be like, mate, record bits, take photos for me. I want to see this. I want to see that. I want to hear about that Troy Ryan versus Joey Hayes match. But yeah, so mate, 8th of March.
I'm sure you will. I think we might have a Jeebus who seems to be everywhere.
There we go.
I'm having Nikki as well, so I think you'll definitely hear about some of it.
Oh, if they're going to be there, then yeah, I'll live vicariously through them. Next time I see Nikki, I'll be like, tell me all about it. Just sit there and talk to me. And Nikki will be like, oh, you want me to talk? I'm like, yes, please. Like, okay, yeah, I'm going to talk. And there we go. So yeah, I'll live vicariously through them. That's cool. But dude, obviously, just keep doing what you're doing because it's working really freaking well. And yeah, 2026 will be an awesome year. 27. Just, are you going to get too big for, you mentioned the venue there, and again, I don't know how a promoter looks at it. Are you kind of loyal to that venue? Is that your home? Is that your Mecca? Is that your ECW arena? Or, if the fans do start coming in,
we kind of vary actually. We've got a few key venues, but we also move around a bit in the Bolton area. So generally, if I go anywhere, I'll look at venues. I can go anywhere in the Bolton area. I'll kind of like my missus hates it because we'll go to like a birthday party or something, and I'll just be like, "Fit ring in there."
Yeah.
I try like mentally count how many chairs I can fit round it. It's just like, oh, that's got a big dance floor on it. Like, oh, that's well, how much this cost to hire?
Stop it! You're not at work.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, that's it. I can't switch off the business mode when we're out like that. It's like,
man, that's amazing. I never looked at like the venue. I always look at the posters, look at the matches and everything. I never clock where, because unless I'm going, I don't need to know where it is. I've never clocked, different venues kind of thing.
So
that's good as well. That's
we've got a few good ones. Like I said, we've got like so this one coming up. It's a gorgeous hotel. It's a hotel and spa in Armler, like proper prestigious, up in like the north side of Bolton. 4-star hotel. Usually does like fancy weddings, all the rest of it. And then
you guys are just going to turn up.
Yeah, basically, like, so what happened is a couple of years back, I knew a guy who worked there. His big boss, the big boss manager, he was like, we need more family entertainment. And then my mate was like, hey, I know a guy.
There we go.
And then I come in like a week or so later, have this meeting, and now we're on probably about the 5th show we've run there now. And like I said, it's always done pretty good results for everybody involved, and it's like I said, it's gorgeous. It's bizarre. I'm setting this ring up, and then next to the ring there's like this gorgeous golden chandelier.
Oh shit! Yes, the one you don't want to get pulled down. Yeah, no, so extra careful. Dude, that's amazing.
Like I said, and then we've got a working men's club, which is where we kind of started. So that's kind of like that would be our spiritual home as such. So we kind of go there a couple of times a year. Usually about every quarter or so we'll go there, do a show there. And as I say, everyone seems to love that venue. Like, get massive loud reactions. But we're open to going pretty much anywhere. Like I said, my only thing was always it has to be a Bolton postcode. Yeah. We are Bolton Wrestling. We're not pretending to be anything else. We're not going to be a travelling company. Yeah. We are Bolton. Whether that's like the cheaper side, like where I'm like the North Posh bit, West Orton. I might tempt towards Bury, but it's still technically a BL postcode. But yeah, it needs to be in that area. Outside of that, I'll do a show anywhere, man. If I can fit a ring in and logistically it works, yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, like I said, I've not even noticed that the venue, but that's good. Like I said, you've kind of got the whole thing going. If you hit different areas, like I say, every quarter or something like that, you can alternate it or rotate it, alternate it, kind of thing. That's
my favorite being. It's all about like catchment areas. So like, we'll do a show. We have our show coming up in a little village part of Bolton, and the idea is I'll draw that show will be drawn in that area. But then the people who liked that, they're not having to go a million miles for the next one.
Yeah.
It's still it's a bit further away, but it's only the most it's going to be is 5 miles. Really, every all the venues are basically within 5-10 miles of each other, so
That's
it's
cool.
It's far enough that you get different fans, but not that far that they're not willing to travel.
That's cool. That is very cool. I like that. Yeah. Okay. That kind of explains a little bit more, like so I said, the fan base, people coming out to vote kind of thing. Like I said, you're hitting up certain areas within the same postcode kind of thing, but it's wide enough that you can pull in new fans. But like I said, when you do go to the next show, they can come with you kind of thing. Mate, that's fucking genius. Yeah. Okay. I like that. That's cool.
So I have my moments every now and then. that was a big one.
That is awesome. Instead of just sticking to that one venue, that is, mate. Yeah. All right. Cool. I'm going to give you your flowers on that, and I'm going to start wrapping it up because I'll end it on a compliment. Mate, yeah, I've said it before. That's fucking genius. I think that's a great idea, and obviously it's working. So keep doing it, dude. Do you want to let people know where they can find you on Facebook and keep an eye out on shows and posters and stuff?
So yeah, we're not massively techie, as you found out by the voting. We don't do Twitter, but we do Facebook and Instagram. Bolton Town Wrestling. Every post I put out will generally have a link to the next tickets for the next show. They're pretty easy to find. Like I said, this one's slightly different because it's through the hotel, so the ticket link looks a bit weird. Usually they're on Skiddle, but the hotel does their own. Yeah, there's not. As I said, we're easy enough to find.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, next year this year we're branching out into Warrington with a different promotion. So if you want to get me back on, we can talk about that one. And
dude, yeah, mate, I'm all for that. That's awesome. Well, obviously, we'll tag you in stuff when we upload. You know, the episode is out, post or whatever I want to call it, kind of thing. We'll obviously tag you in that. My boy Ash will tag you on Instagram. So if you're not following Bolton on Instagram, hit that follow button. Check out what shows I've got coming up. If you can get to a show, you know, if it's good enough for Jeeves, you know, get yourself there, kind of thing. You know, he travels all over the place. And he doesn't go to shows just for the sake of going to shows. It's like a little quality tick, you know, Jeeves approved. So there we go. But yeah, like I said, just hit that follow button. Check out what they're doing. Hit like, subscribe, share, comment, you know, underneath this video. Please, it's greatly appreciated. It helps so much. Keep your eyes peeled. We've got loads of awesome stuff coming up. But yeah, you know, Maverick, I want to just say thank you so much. I've thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. It's just nice to talk. It's just a genuine sort of passion for wrestling. It's just like it's just been
I've always said as long as it's fun, as long as it's passionate, like I'm a fan first. I was a fan long before I was a worker. I was a fan long before I was a promoter. So I'm just putting on what I want to see. And if 100, 200 people also want to see it, happy days.
Jobs are good. That's all you can ask for. Dude, yeah, thank you so much. Everybody else, thank you for watching, you know, and yeah, we'll see you again very, very soon. And remember, always work the left side. Goodbye.